Applying to buy a house in the UK should not be far-fetched, as there are various government-backed house buying schemes aimed to make house ownership more accessible by providing bonuses or discounts to home buyers. In this video, I will share 4 notable house buying schemes for first-time buyers here in the UK. Now, towards the end of this video, I will share a bonus point on how to get part of your house deposit for free to reduce the upfront cost of purchasing a house here in the UK. So stay to the end of this video for that. Also, let me know which house buying schemes you would be considering after you're done watching this video in the comment section. Now, for the house buying schemes I would mention in this video, not all of them are available throughout the UK. Now, for those who don't know, the UK comprises of 4 countries, that is England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. So for some of these house buying schemes, they are only available in England, or they are called another name in Wales and Scotland. But as we go along in this video, I'll let you know what schemes are available in what countries within the UK. The first is shared ownership. Now, you can buy a house through the shared ownership scheme if you cannot afford all of the house deposit or the mortgage payment for a house that meets your needs. Basically, shared ownership allows first-time buyers here in the UK to purchase a share, usually between 25% and 75%. In some cases, you can even buy 10% of the share of a property's full market value and pay rent on the remaining portion. Now, over time, buyers can increase their share through a process known as staircasing. This scheme is beneficial for those who cannot afford to buy a house in full with outright cash or with a mortgage. So basically, how this scheme works is that you look for a new build property that you like and is on the shared ownership scheme, and then you would buy a portion, like a share of the property, and then you will own that share of the property. Then on the remaining share that you don't own, you would be paying rent to the owner of the remaining shared property. Now, council or house building associations or the developer would usually own the remaining share of that property. Now, for this scheme, you can only buy a new built house or an existing house through a shared ownership resale scheme. Now, this scheme is available in England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. The second is the lifetime individual savings account, aka LISA. You can use the individual savings account to save for your first house or save for later life. Now, you must be 18 or above but under 40 to open a lifetime individual savings account. Honestly, I strongly suggest you open a LISA if you do not have one. It is an excellent savings option for first-time buyers, allowing them to save up to £4,000 per year, with the government providing a 25% bonus annually on the amount saved. Now, if you decide to open a LISA, the bonus that the UK government gives you and your savings can be withdrawn tax-free to buy your first house in the UK. Likewise, you can withdraw the money at the official retirement age here in the UK. Apart from those 2 scenarios, you cannot withdraw the money. But in case of terminal illness with less than 12 months to live, you can also withdraw money from your LISA without any tax implication or any penalty. Now, apart from the 3 scenarios I just mentioned, that is buying your first house or terminal illness or the official retirement age, apart from these 3 scenarios, if you decide to withdraw the money from your lifetime ISA, you would face a 25% penalty fee charge on the money you have saved and on the bonuses. So for example, if you put 4,000 into your lifetime individual savings account, and then the UK government gave you 1,000, which is 25% of the bonus, and you now want to withdraw the money apart from the 3 scenarios I've mentioned, you would actually lose £1,250, not £1,000, because the penalty fee will be charged based on the total amount of money that is in that account. So don't think that, oh, because the government gave me 1,000, they'll just take their 1,000 and I'll get my 4,000 back. No, it doesn't work that way. You would actually lose £250 from your 4,000 you put. So they'll collect their 1,000 back and charge you £250. So basically, they'll charge you 25% of the whole money that is in that account. And that thing you should bear in mind that it doesn't matter whether you're buying your first home or not. Before you can withdraw money from your LISA account, the account has to be a year old. So the account must have been for 12 months before you can take money out of the account, even though you're buying your first home. So you have to put that in mind. Now, the lifetime individual savings account is available in England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Now, my husband and I chose to save for our house deposit using the lifetime ISA. It was an excellent way for us to save for our deposit, as we could not easily access the money in the account. And it was also a great way to save-proof our deposit against inflation, because the money was technically gaining interest. We got 25% bonus from the UK government, so in a way our money was growing. Now, if you're looking for ways to save for a house deposit, you can watch my video on how we save for our own house deposit as a first-time buyer here in the UK in 2 years. That video will provide you with insights on how to save for a house deposit fast. I'll link it to this video for those interested in watching it. Number 3 is the First Home Scheme. Now, this scheme aims to provide available home ownership opportunities, especially in high-demand areas. The First Home Scheme offers newly built properties at a minimum of 30% to 50% below the market value. This scheme prioritizes essential workers, people already living in the area, and those on low incomes. So what the UK government means by people already living in the area is that, okay, let me give a scenario to explain this. So for example, if you're living in Manchester, you can buy a house on this scheme through the Manchester Council. So it just means that the council would prioritize people already living in that particular council when it comes to this scheme. Now, kindly note that with this scheme, you can only buy a newly built house by a developer already participating in this scheme, or a house from someone who originally bought as part of the scheme. So you cannot just go and buy a house that is not on the scheme. The house you want to buy must be on the scheme, one way or the other. You can apply for this scheme by contacting the developer or estate agent if you're buying from a previous first homes buyer, and tell them you want to buy a first home. The developer or the estate agent, whichever it is, will complete the application and send it to the local council. Note that you would have to pay a fee if the first home you want to buy is a new build. Now, the developer will be the one to set the amount that you will pay. Don't worry, you will get the feedback if your application is unsuccessful. But if it's successful, then you will continue with the process, and I think the fee will be deducted one way or the other from your house purchase price. After that, the local council will check your application to ensure you are eligible and contact you to tell you about their decision. If your application needs any information, they may ask you to provide it. If your first home application is approved, you will start your house purchase process by hiring a solicitor and applying for a mortgage, amongst other things that has to do with house buying. Please note that after applying the first home discount, the house cannot cost more than £420 if the house is in London, or £250 anywhere else in England. Likewise, you can only sell the house after you've bought it to someone eligible to buy a first home, and you must give them the same percentage of discount you got, but this time around it will be based on the house market value at the time you want to sell it. So for example, if you bought a house for 250k and then they gave you 30% off of that 250k, that's fine. When you are selling the house, and let's say the house is worth 300k, now it doesn't mean you have sold the house for 250k and now give them the 30% off. No, you will sell the house for 300k, but then you will now give the 30% on the 300k. I don't know if my explanation is clear enough and you guys get it. Now, this scheme is available in England, but I don't know if it is available in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. If you have any idea on whether or not it is available in those areas, you can leave it in the comment section. You might just be helping someone know that it's available in that part of the UK. Now, the last but not the least is the rent to buy scheme. Now, with this government scheme, you can rent a newly built house at a discount with the intent to buy it. Basically, rent to buy helps tenants in England save for a deposit to buy a house by offering them the property to rent at a discount. This discount is usually 20% below the market rent. Let me quickly summarize how this scheme works, because I've had conversations with people about this scheme and it's a bit confusing. So why this scheme is in existence is because rent prices are going higher in the UK, and then the government is like, okay, let's offer a house to a tenant at 20% below the market value, so that 20% they can be saving it towards their deposit, right, and add money if they can afford to add more money. So basically that's the logic behind this scheme, because rents are increasing and a lot of people cannot even afford to pay their rent and save to buy a house. So they're like, okay, let's discount the rent so that they can put the amount they save because of the discount towards a house deposit, or save towards a house deposit. So basically how the scheme works is that you would apply to rent a property that is in the scheme. So it's not just any property that you can rent. The house you want to rent must be in the scheme. If you're eligible and the property is still available, you'll be offered the property. Now you can buy the rental property as soon as you have saved enough deposit and you can get a mortgage. Your initial tenancy agreements would be up to 2 years. After the 2 years, if you still need more time to save for a deposit, you would talk with your landlord or negotiate with your landlord. Now, if your landlord agrees, then your landlord can extend your tenancy to give you more time to save for the house. Now, if you do not pay your rent on time and follow the terms of your tenancy agreement, you might not be allowed to stay on the scheme. Please be aware that the scheme is available in England apart from London. Now, properties in London are covered by a separate scheme called the London Living Rent, and the rent to buy scheme is not available in Scotland. Now let's move on to the bonus point on how to get part of your house deposit for free, as promised at the start of the video. Now the bonus point basically is to maximize real estate developers' incentives. Now in the UK, some real estate developers would offer incentives to encourage people to purchase houses from them. They would typically give incentives such as cashback, deposit contribution, payment of legal fees or stamp duty, or purchase price discounts. Now, if you're buying a new build from a developer as a first-time buyer, you can request a deposit contribution to reduce the upfront cost and make purchasing a house more financially visible, especially if you are struggling to save a substantial amount for a down payment. Some real estate developers give deposit contribution on new developments ranging from 5% to 15%. When we bought our house, we got 10% deposit contribution and a kitchen upgrade with integrated appliances from our developer for free, which helped us shorten the time we had to save for our house deposit and the hidden cost from 2.5 years to 2 years. Likewise, our developer contributing 10% towards our deposits gave us access to a better mortgage rate because we could not put down a higher deposit. In conclusion, the schemes mentioned in this video are aimed to make the dream of house ownership a reality for more individuals across the UK, especially in England, as some of these schemes are unavailable in Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland. So please do your research to be sure that this scheme is available in wherever part of the UK you live in. Before engaging with any of these schemes, it is crucial to thoroughly research and understand the eligibility criteria, the terms and conditions associated with each program. You can consult with financial advisors, real estate agents, or mortgage experts, who can provide you with valuable insight tailored to your financial circumstances on how to go about maximizing some of the incentives given by developers or some of these UK government-backed schemes I just mentioned in this video. With this, we've come to the end of the video. Kindly let me know in the comment section what other topics related to house ownership or personal finance you would like me to make a video on. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.